take my word for it.
Okay.
Arabian countries that are predominantly Islamic, where polygamy is being allowed and accepted, which is part of their culture, they have traditionally recorded one of the lower numbers of prostate abnormalities. And when I say prostate abnormalities, we're talking about prostate inflammation from prostatitis to BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia, and then the big C word, prostate cancer.
Okay.
Why is that important? There is another direction to it. I believe as a medical practitioner that men are biologically wired to be polygamists.
That was contentious last time. So I'm sure you're going to put some meat to that.
Absolutely. There are chemicals, and these are chemicals that have been established, called pheromones.
Okay.
The first time you saw your wife, Dr. Ken, she was not the most beautiful woman. She is gorgeous, but she was not the most beautiful woman. But there was a reason you were keened on her. You were linked on her because our pheromones and your pheromones linked.
Align, yeah.
And ever since, your job is to keep that attractiveness going.
Okay.
But however, with time and considering the stress exposure here, there will be some lessening of that attractiveness.
Okay.
That's what traditionally happens. If you've been married for 40, 50 years, your relationship with your wife now all of a sudden becomes a brother and sister type. You are no longer jumping on her the way you were jumping 30, 40 years ago.
Okay.
Why? Because the pheromones are now weakening.
Okay.
And eventually it leads us to the bull syndrome. A bull is not going to have sex with one bull more than once. Variety is the spice. Variety is what creates men with pheromones. So yes, if I'm having erectile dysfunction, if you give me an alternate woman, a woman who is new to me, and our pheromones click, my ED will disappear temporarily.
Really?
Absolutely. And that's why men come to the clinic now and say, Doc, when I'm with my wife, this thing doesn't work. But when I go to my side chick, it wakes up. I just laugh because that's a scientifically proven fact. They don't need any medication. And yet we live in a society where we are so tied to one man, one woman. Who said that? That was for economic reason. It's on African.
Driven by religion, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So another word that was contentious was the side chick.
Yes.
So to make it better, do you recommend we find another adjective that is not side chick?
So we say the other woman. So it's either your wife is the first wife or the other woman.
Okay.
So let's take away the stigma about side chicks.
Okay.
Our grandparents had other women.
So is there any link to that? Were they less protected from this pandemic or prostate
Absolutely, Dr. Ken.
Yes.
Men with more than one wife tends to live longer. Don't take my word for it. The research is abundantly clear. Go on Google. Men with 2, 3 wives tend to live an average of 7.5 years longer than men with one man, one woman. One man, one woman, that man's sexual activity is going to decrease after the age of 50.
So let me get you right. Are you saying that if you have more than one wife, you are likely to live longer?
You absolutely.
So it's in the interest of the woman to allow that democracy and deregulation happen, isn't it?
Absolutely, Dr. Ken. And let's look at it from the practical angle. My wife is not willing to give me 21 times a month.
Okay.
She's got 5 days of menses she has to deal with. There are days she has to deal with the kids. There are days of headache. There are days where my schedule just doesn't permit it. However, if she's able to give me 5 or 7 times and then outsource the other one to the other woman, it benefits both of us. Legitimately.
Yeah. So it's something that needs to be discussed, and need to be considered. It's not just for the man's selfish reasons; it's for his own health and for because you want your husband to live longer.
To live longer and be able to continue this responsibility that traditionally we put on African men. That look, you're supposed to carry all this,
Yes.
and all the man needs for survival that has been proven for cardiovascular health and prostate health is he needs to be getting his 21 ejaculations a month.